So today I am doing the review and first impression on the new Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. I saw tons of people on Snapchat getting a PR package with this foundation in it, and I knew that I had to go out and buy it as soon as it hit my store because I really was interested in trying this foundation. I'm all for full coverage foundations. I was really excited to try this out for fall and winter specifically. Because in fall and winter I do like a little bit more of like a matte finish, not so glowy. So yeah, I was really excited to try this foundation out. So I am doing a first impressions video on this today. I am also doing a wear test. So before we get into the video, I just want to say hello to any new subscribers and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And if you guys want to see the first impression on this new foundation, then just keep watching. Okay, so this is what the packaging looks like. I think the packaging as far as the outside goes is really nice and sleek. This is what the actual foundation looks like. I love the way that this looks. I think it looks so sleek, so beautiful. The packaging's awesome. So I do love the packaging. So this is supposed to be full coverage, a matte finish, oil-free, waterproof, long wear liquid foundation. So we're going to see how this goes. So I am going to prime one side of my face just to see if the foundation wears differently on the prime side than the non-prime side. And I'm using the Maybelline Master Prime. This is for blur and redness. I love this primer. So I got shade 2.0. I don't know if this is going to match me, but we are going to see. Okay, so there's about, I don't know, maybe 1.5 pumps. That first pump wasn't like a full pump. It does seem a little bit more liquidy than I would have imagined. I would have assumed it to be a little bit thicker for a full coverage, but I'm just going to dot some of this on my face. So typically I don't like sponges with thicker foundations, but this foundation is not as thick as I thought it was going to be, so I am going to use the Real Techniques, and let's go ahead and see how this blends out. I did pick the wrong shade, but that's my fault. This is way too light for my skin. I am going to continue with the first impression though because I have started this. The coverage is really good. It is like a full coverage foundation, but I actually still feel like I see like my freckles and stuff on my forehead. So I am going to add another thin layer and see what happens. So aside from the color being wrong and too light for me, my initial thoughts are that it is a pretty full coverage foundation. I did have to use just a tiny bit more. I didn't actually take off the full 1.5 pumps on my hand though, so I did end up using basically just the 1.5 pumps, and that was fine. It is a little bit of a heavier foundation, which I am not surprised. It is a full coverage, meant to last all day foundation, so that doesn't surprise me. And so far it looks pretty good on the skin. It is super duper matte. So it is now 10:50 in the morning. I am going to go do the rest of my makeup, go do some things, and I will update you guys a little bit later just to show you guys how it is wearing throughout the day, and we will see how long we can keep this on tonight. So I will see you guys in a minute. Okay, you guys, so I'm back with a little update. It is now 2:53 in the afternoon. It has almost been exactly 4 hours since I put the foundation on originally. A couple things that I personally look for when I am trying out a new foundation is if my concealer will blend into it nicely, and if after I put the concealer and a little bit of powder on, if it looks cakey or if it looks worse or if it kind of comes off. And I will have to say that sometimes with thicker foundations or a foundation that sets really quickly, like this one set so quickly, I find that sometimes like concealers won't blend in as well into the foundation. But I just want to let you guys know the concealer that I used blended in so beautifully into this foundation. I was so impressed with how easily it blended out and easily glided on. I was so impressed with that, and I was really happy, as well as the powder did not emphasize the dry patches on my skin or anything like that. I was a little nervous to try this foundation out because I do have dry skin. Usually most people with dry skin would shy away from a foundation like this that is very thick, full coverage, and it's just meant to be matte. But I typically like to try every foundation no matter what finish it has, just because I really sometimes have liked matte finish foundations. So I definitely wanted to try this one out, and I am super happy that even with a light powder over top of it, now just in the center of my face and underneath my eyes, I put a light dusting of powder. This foundation looks so beautiful. It is not cakey at all. Obviously, it is a little bit like thicker and heavier on the skin than like, I guess, like your typical foundation or just like a lighter coverage foundation. I'm also someone that likes heavy foundations, and I like the look of a full coverage foundation, so if you're not into that, you probably would not like this foundation. It's because you can see the makeup on your skin. But for someone like me, it's obvious that I wear a lot of makeup. It's something that I love, so I'm not really worried about if it looks too heavy unless it starts to look like really cakey and just gross on my skin. But as of right now, I don't think it does. I also would like to say that it is not settling into any of my fine lines, except for this number 11 right here that just seems to get every single foundation. It's also not really creasing weird on my nose. And it looks really good. Another thing that I like about this foundation is that when I touch it with my fingers, it's not super sticky or anything like that. Like, it feels completely dry. Like, some foundations, as you wear them throughout the day, just feel kind of sticky and like you can feel the oils coming through. This foundation is not like that at all. Like, I can pat my face all day long and I just feel like it's gonna stay matte and continue to stay matte and feel dry, which I love. So yeah, that is my little update right now. I'm only going to update you guys probably one more time later tonight. I will see you guys in a couple of hours to give you my final thoughts on the foundation. So it is now a little after 7 at night. This is going to be my last update. I've had the foundation on for about 8 hours now, so I feel like this is a good time to update you guys. So as far as how it has worn throughout the day, around my nose area right here, and on the tip of my nose and right here, it has kind of worn off. Right here it wore off because I had sunglasses on and I was in like kind of like a hot car. And then around the tip of my nose and right here, it's worn off because my nose has been running today. So I have been wiping my nose a lot. So that is nothing that I really would consider to be the foundation's fault, because besides those areas, the foundation has stayed on really, really well. It doesn't really seem to be fading anywhere else on my face. And I told you guys in my L'Oreal Pro Glow foundation review first impression video that the foundations that I use usually start to fade down here for me, and that has not happened, which is really good. So I will say that in my T-zone it has started to get a little bit oily. Because I have dry skin, I will say that I like the look of that. So also am thinking that it could have been from me being out in the heat, and it's also pretty warm in my house. So I'm also thinking that that could have had something to do with the oils that are producing on my face, because besides that, everywhere else has stayed really, really matte. As far as if I would actually recommend this foundation or not, I definitely would. I do think it's a good foundation if you have to go to work all day long, especially if you work long hours, or if you just want a good foundation for a night out. I feel like this foundation would be really good. To be honest, I do like it better than the Kat Von D Lock-It tattoo foundation, only because that one is really thick and heavy, and it feels a lot heavier in my opinion than this foundation. I've heard other people say the complete opposite, but in my personal opinion, for me, I feel that this is a little bit lighter than the Kat Von D. I typically actually nowadays don't wear the Kat Von D anymore because it is so thick on my skin, and I'm just not really into that anymore. So I do recommend this one over the Kat Von D if you're looking for something similar to the Kat Von D but you don't like the Kat Von D because of how thick it is. This one does have a thinner formula, so I do think that you would like this one better. But once again, it's just depending on your skin type and how it just works with your skin, and with my skin it worked better. If you wanted to try it out, maybe get a foundation sample if you didn't want to spend the whole $40. But besides that, I hope that you guys liked this first impression review video on the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. If you guys did like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.